Okay, we are good to go.
I'm gonna call over the village board meeting at the Lisbon Village Hall on Wednesday, February 2025 at 6:31 PM. Roll call, please.
President Osterman,
Here.
trustee Plotecker,
Here.
trustee Moonen,
Here.
trustee Quinn,
Here.
trustee Beal,
Here,
administrator Green,
Here.
and clerk Capazzo Catch to record the minutes.
Thank you. We'll stand for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 is comments from citizens. Does anyone have any comments to make tonight? Anyone on Zoom?
If anyone on Zoom would like to speak during citizen comment, please use the raise hand function. No hands raised on Zoom.
That takes us to item 4, the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are approved in one motion unless a trustee requests for separate consideration. We have the January 8th, 2025 village board minutes, the October 17th and October 28th special village board minutes, the 2025 Waukesha County Joint Powers Agreement, the staff recommendation to approve covenants for Lake 5 Farm subdivision, the extraterritorial approval of a single lot CSM for MRTT 0335.998.001, MRTT 0335.998.002. That was approved by the Plan Commission unanimously, and approval of the 2025 sewer televising quote from Expeditors for $10,724.91 plus debris disposal. That was also unanimous from the Public Works Committee. And approving the citizen request policy regarding speed and street sign and traffic control issues. That was also unanimously approved. Resolution 2025-01, updating Lisbon's fee schedule regarding special assessment letters and NSF charges. And approving the lease agreement with Canon for new Village Hall copier printer. So we got a few on there tonight. Anyone wish to have any of those removed for separate consideration, or is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Becky to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Paul. Any discussion? None, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 5, accounts payable. We have authorizing the payment of the Falls Auto Parts bills dated January 31st for $404.06. Any questions or comments, or is there a motion on the item?
I make a motion we approve for 404.06 to Falls Auto Parts.
Moved by Linda to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mark. Any discussion? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item B, authorizing the payment of the remaining bills dated 1/23 for $306,287.08 and 1/31 for $136,450.33. Dan, you have any?
I just have the top 5 expenditures.
All right.
For these, for the 306,000 amount, the top 5 are US Bank corporate payments, which is, I believe, a credit card for $84,346.22. Waukesha County Treasurer in the amount of $78,999. Village of Sussex for $25,217.15. Anthem Blue Cross, $9,738.05. And Catalyst for $9,450. The Catalyst is for 2 months that they had not billed us for quite a while, so we had to kind of go after them for that. Okay, let me grab the second. Yeah. And yeah, I probably have it. I just can't find it. And then the other, for the lesser amount, Waukesha County Treasurer, $76,669.14. Premier Building Inspections for $16,564.63. Burke Truck and Equipment for $10,690.88. We Energies in the amount of $6,909.38. And Brabazen for $4,648.75. The Waukesha County Treasurer won our for our sheriff's deputy.
Any questions or comments on the bills? Or is there a motion on the check registers?
I'll make a motion, we accept the check registers as presented.
By Becky to approve, is there a second?
I second.
By Linda, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 6, announcements and correspondence. We had the spring primary election on Tuesday, the 18th. It was a statewide primary. We had the Public Works and Utility Committee meeting on Wednesday, February 19th at 5 PM at the Richard Young Fire Station. We have the Joint Plan Commission and Public Works meeting on the 19th at 6 PM at the Richard Young Fire Station. A little bit of unusual to have both, so that's going to be a interesting one. Never done that before. Then we have the Joint Public Hearing and Plan Commission meeting on February 26th at 6:30 PM at the Richard Young Fire Station. And then we have a Parks Committee meeting on Wednesday, March 12th at 5 PM at the Village Hall. And then the next Village Board meeting is March 12th and at 6:30 PM at the Village Hall. Does anyone else have any other announcements or correspondence?
Just one thing to note on the public hearings and plan commission for February 26th, we will need at least one additional village board member to attend. Because that does involve amendments to the zoning code, village code, and a rezone. So if Paula, Mark, and Linda can check your calendars and let me know if.
Actually, we're gonna meet two, aren't we? Because you're not gonna be,
No, I'll be
oh,
here.
you'll be that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if one of you can just let me know that you're available, that would be wonderful.
All right. Any other announcements or correspondence from anyone? All right, item 7, administrator report.
Just a quick report as far as what I've been working on. I've been going through the preliminary 2026 budget. I know it's a little early, but I want to get my eyes on it now. So been working on that and working with Ellers on our 2025 borrowing and our future debt schedule. Also with Mitch, Lisa's, and Nick, our highway superintendent, on road rehab projects for 2025, and then working on a future road maintenance program. I met with Chief Bierce, I believe it was last week, to go over vehicles and equipment that we need to go through from the fire station. So working on a plan to start selling some of those pieces of equipment. And then I'm working on drafting a performance review policy and template, which I have pretty much done and ready to review. So just a few highlight items.
All right, any questions for Dan? All right, thank you, Dan. Item 8, unfinished business. A, discussion and necessary action regarding draft donation agreement.
So this came before you and was in December, I believe. And at that point, it was reviewed by the attorney, but it wasn't reviewed by the group that will actually be donating the money. So I sat down with them and we had a good conversation. And so what resulted from that conversation is what is in the memo for consideration. We redrafted the agreement, and then I did send it to our attorney for review. He made his comments. I then forwarded the finalized copy to the junior chargers. They didn't have any issue with it, and so I'm bringing it to your attention. There's, I would say, some policy decisions that may want to be discussed in the agreement, mainly being the priority booking and how that looks on the agreement, which currently it stands that I believe it's Tuesday through Thursday, they'll have priority booking. And that will be for the entirety of the baseball season. So the field would be available any other days outside of that. It does also give a 10-year lifespan of the agreement. So they will have that priority booking for 10 years and then it goes away. There's also a portion in the agreement that talks about if we back out of the agreement for any reason after they've donated funds and the field is complete, that we are entitled to reimburse them a prorated amount for the years that they would have removed. And so if we want to back out of the agreement, they donate 40 in 5 years, we say we want out, then we would reimburse them 20. So if that sounds agreeable, or if, I know initially we had said, 20 days, or we threw out a number in the contract. That wasn't necessarily reviewed by the junior chargers, and so they didn't. They found that kind of hard to navigate with their schedule, so they brought this forward. And I'm bringing it forward to you guys.
Discussion. Anybody have any feelings on the contract? Like it, don't like it?
After reviewing it, I just have a couple questions. I know that they're gonna be donating $40,000 and they get it Monday through Thursday. Is that correct, Dan? If I'm reading this correctly?
It's
Do they-
Tuesday through Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, right. You're right. Sorry. Tuesday through Thursday. So for 10 years, that stands Tuesday through Thursday, but they don't pay anything additional for those 3 days, correct? Because it's nothing on there, or unless I'm missing it.
I believe they still have to pay for booking the field.
Where was that on here? Did I miss it?
No, I don't believe it's.
I think it's field prep, not for booking it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I think it's for field prep, not for booking it, but let me just take a look and verify that I'm not speaking out of turn.
Will they be paying the same as anybody else would be paying for it?
Linda, let me, and that was one thing I was gonna check with Mark this morning too, and I didn't, and I know he's probably busy, but I don't have an answer for you.
Okay. I'd like to know that.
No, that's a good question. Nope, understood. And this is a draft donation agreement too, so we have some time. I did contact the contractor, who said that they are going to start as soon as they can, or as soon as the dirt thaws, which will probably be sometime in mid to late April. And I communicated with them twice. So we should be set for that, but if we need to put this off another week or another month, we can certainly do that. And I
Okay.
apologize for not having that answer.
Oh, that's okay. I understand. It was just a question that I had when I read it.
It looks like it only addresses priority booking, but it doesn't speak to that they would be treated any differently than anyone outside of the priority booking. So it doesn't look like there's anything specific that says they would get anything other than priority booking.
That was my understanding when discussing it with them, but
Make sure they're
I
on the
don't-
same page.
yeah, I don't want to have approved this under false pretenses on their part, so.
I mean, I think donor sub one acknowledges that it's just for the purpose of building the baseball field, not renting it.
And we can also approve this contingent on the understanding that they will have to pay the normal fees for the booking.
Shouldn't that be in the agreement or no?
Well, if you what Mark was saying is like part one, it says the donor hereby pledges to Lisbon a donation for the sum of $40,000, which is provided herein is designated for the benefit of the taxpayers of Lisbon for purposes of building the baseball field. So that identifies that it isn't meant for any kind of other fees other than building the field. And then
Okay,
it says priority booking, so it identifies that they would have priority booking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it doesn't release them from the obligation for the fees for the field prep.
okay.
And I don't think they'd have an issue with that. The priority booking is a pretty big deal, especially
Yeah.
having it for 10 years on a new field, so.
Right.
Mhm.
How do you feel, Paul?
I mean, it works for me. I mean, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they don't automatically get those days locked. Everybody's locked out. They would have to say we need Tuesday and Wednesday these weeks, they'd come forward with the schedule, so there would be the possibility there would be other availability for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep, they have to communicate it to us at least 3 weeks in advance.
Yep. so is this their game schedule or is this their practice? I'm just curious, Dina, did they mention that? It's both, okay. Yeah. I mean, $40,000 a nice chunk of money to get to help build a field, so yeah, I think in consideration for that is well worth it.
I agree, Paula.
Becky,
I agree.
Mark,
Agreed.
somebody want to put that in the form of a motion?
Still at the contingency, Dan?
I would, yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement, donation agreement and priority use agreement between the Village of Lisbon and Junior Charter Baseball Club presented with the approval upon contingency that the agent of the Junior Chargers is amenable to the language.
There's a second?
I'll second.
Motion's made in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item B, status update discussion necessary action regarding the OPIT's progress towards compliance order issued on September 22nd, 24 for LSBT 0193.139. OPIT's is here. Thank you for joining us.
So you do have a packet of information in there that was provided when packets went out on Friday. As well as Brian's updated report that was set next to your packets on your table.
So our inspector stopped by and he says that he noticed that there's been little additional progress that has been made as of the 7th,
Up to 7,
as of the 7th.
5 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from my point of view, I went to the DMV. I got stickers for.
Sir, can you speak into the microphone, please? Thank you.
I went to the DMV. I got stickers for Toyota. They wouldn't give it to me for the GMC Safari because I must go 3 missions first. And it needs a battery and the check engine light is on. The Dodge Caravan, the Grand Caravan, I fixed the engine now. All it needs was an oil change and a top off the antifreeze. And I was missing the key, so I couldn't move it. And it's kind of a log jam on the property, and that's part of the problem. As soon as I can move the Grand Caravan, then I can cut down the cedar tree that's leaning over it. Today I removed all items between the garage door and the Toyota, which included a lot of small engine parts and everything. All lawn tools were removed from the property into the garage. I hauled 840 pounds of steel to recycling today. And when I got back, well, on the way there, the guy flagged me down and said, your wheel is, something's wrong with your wheel. And the bearing was bad in the back trailer. So that might hamper me from moving my lawn tractors pretty soon. So I fixed that. And this month, my Chevy van, the 89 Chevy, I had to put a new water pump and a serpentine belt in it. Also, I have bags of leaves and everything in the back. I'm waiting for the recycling center to open or use my chipper shredder to shred it up. Otherwise, let's see here. According to the complaint, so far I removed all the junk metal, brush, except for a pile on the front lawn. I'm waiting to, I can't burn it now because I can't get water to the site. All the wood that's around, except for firewood, is gone. Tires are gone. Non-working and usable equipment, I'm still working on that. All the tarps are gone and all the trash. So that's where we're at right now.
All right. Discussion?
Joe, I just want to point out that the report was from the 11th, so it's from yesterday, the pictures. As well as his
Pictures are
report.
from yes, because he said in here
Since Brian's last visit on January 7th,
well, since, okay, so it's the 11th, I'm sorry. This was yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah. I did a lot of work today. And that was removing all the small engine parts and all that. All that's left is garden tractors and the attachments such as the decks. And I'm making room in the garage to put them all in there.
Who wants to start? Mark?
Thanks to the inspector for giving us some good comparison photos. These are my fears about giving extensions into the winters. The winters can be hard and it's been really cold. So this is now the second month in a row where little to no progress has been done. Last visit would have been on January 7th was the report, and then that report indicated little progress had been made since the 10th of December. And then the report February 11th has also indicated that there's been little progress since January 7th. So there's 2 months where little to no progress has been done. I compared the photos from the last 2 visits and they look identical. The one with the tractor in it, all the same debris is to the right of the tractor that's not, looks like working in the driveway. The red Simplicity's in the exact same spot with the seat in the same position. The only thing different that I saw was the trailer with the wood sides was moved behind the Dodge van now. But there's still a refrigerator sitting in your driveway that hasn't moved. You're not working with us. We've been very straightforward with our intentions to get you compliant, but you're showing that you're not making a large scale effort in a timely manner to get compliant.
Well, you gotta take into account also that the weather is
You're absolutely right, but you gotta remember when we started this back at the end of summer,
yeah.
I cautioned you about that. It was on record. We've dealt with these. We've dealt with these going through winter and little to no progress gets made once winter hits with these. And we caution that, and you assured us that progress really made. So.
Well, like I'd say, the last day I made quite a bit of progress too.
Yeah.
And I've been organizing inside and finding parts. I finally found a key to my Dodge Caravan. And it's also hard on me to do work right now because I'm diabetic and my hands and feet get cold real easy.
And all those are valid points, and I know that the board is cognizant of that and sympathetic to it, but at some point, we can't just hear and hear and hear the same things over and over. We have to uphold the ordinances that everybody's bound by, and we're not seeing any progress. Little progress, I should say. So. Did you have a request of the board tonight?
Well, I would like an extension, but I have to say that this month, on the 17th, I have a heart procedure. And on the 18th, I have a cardiac ablation where they burn inside the heart. And I got to stay overnight. And then there's probably a time period where I can't lift heavy things for a while.
You had talked about getting some help at some point. Can you get some help in there at all? There's nobody that can come in and
Well,
work with you?
that's why I'm kind of clearing out the garage so I can get at my lawn tractor with the front end loader. So that I can just throw a chain on it and move my tractors inside.
Hi, this is Linda. I just have to bring out a few points. I agree with Mark. We've been very patient. I think this has been going on, I think it's September 24th. So it's going on 5 months. And we're very aware of your health issues and we feel bad for you. However, this has been going on for 5 months. I live in the area, so I drive by your home frequently, and I'm always disappointed in what I see in the yard. I personally think in order to get something done, I would be in favor of a fine and not extending it, because now what you're telling us that you're not going to see any activity going on for the next month or two. So I brought this up last meeting that you need to get someone in there to help you and to get it out. And that would be my recommendation, and it won't be done unless we do not extend it. So I'm not in favor of extending it at all, and I think you need to be fined.
Becky?
I don't know. I hate to see him being fined. But I don't think he's gonna get anything done in the next month unless we give him like 2 months to clean it up. I don't know.
Why can't you hire somebody to take care of this?
Because of financial issues. I have a lot of hospital bills now.
I mean, they're right, it's been 5 months, and Mark did talk about this in September. That you only have some time, not in September, but I mean, I remember what meeting it was at, but it was still warm enough out that he was afraid that winter would hit, and nothing would get done. We have no evidence other than what you've told us tonight that anything was done. And the metal that you're discussing, was that outside or in the garage? Was a combination? Not worried about what's in the garage, we're worried about what's outside,
It was outside.
okay? Did you bring any evidence of that, any pictures, anything?
Didn't the inspector take a picture inside the trailer or anything?
No. This was on the 11th, so it was just, have you seen these?
No.
Did you? You're gonna come take a look, I mean, you can tell me if this was before or after you moved stuff.
Is the,
Well, I can tell you, it
Is that-
was moved after those pictures.
Okay, so we have no evidence, I mean, I'm not saying you're lying, but I mean, we don't
Right.
have any. We have no evidence to look at.
Well, you could drive up the driveway and take a look at what's going on.
Not at the moment, though.
Right.
So what? I mean, from what you're saying is you're gonna have some procedures, and we're cognizant of that, and I mean, we understand that, but. That means you can't do anything for probably at least a month with a heart ablation. So I mean, how? You're not giving us a lot of options here.
Well, I got like 5 days before that happens.
Yeah, but you haven't gotten much done.
And there's snow on the ground now too, so how much are you gonna get done with snow on the ground?
Well, I'd get a lot done if I got my front end loader out of the garage.
in the last 60 days, that hasn't happened. Yeah, it's been cold in some of that time, but
And with all the snow we had, I didn't have a snowblower that worked. I'm just working on it right now.
we
No
haven't,
snow.
we haven't had much of any snow in the last 60 days.
We had 3 inches the other time.
We got 6 so far
And,
today.
and 1 inch very heavy snow, which I had to shovel by hand.
I mean, there comes a time when a property owner needs to realize we've been very gracious to you. We've offered several extensions. This has gone on for 5-6 months that we've been on the record for it, not to mention how many countless months before that. I personally said I wanted to work with you, and I still feel that way, but you haven't changed anything. And for me to sit here and grant another extension, I think I'd be lying to myself to say anything's gonna change before the next meeting. Given what the past has been and what your future health conditions are gonna dictate. I would have to agree with Linda. I think we need to move to a finding for non-compliance in our policy.
What is your intent with this stuff? Are you intent on keeping it? Are you junking it?
Some of them I'm gonna junk right away. The white van I'm gonna junk. Let's see,
But I'm gonna tell you, if I want something junked and it's metal, I wouldn't have to pay anyone anything. I could have an ad out and there would be people there grabbing it in a day.
yeah,
Have you attempted that?
no, I wanna keep some of the parts. And then have
But you're
some,
at the point now where you're gonna start getting fined.
yeah.
I
And how much
mean-
is that?
Well, do we know what to fine?
I don't know. It could result in a daily fine too for every day you're out of compliance after.
It would be a daily fine.
And it's a matter of when the fine starts.
Which could start tomorrow.
And nobody here wants to do that, but we have to, we're bound by law to uphold our ordinances. We can't just keep saying, no, okay, okay, okay. And I know you have hardships and everybody here feels bad about that, but it's not like this has been a couple of weeks. I mean, let's say we granted you another extension to the end of the month and nothing's gonna change.
I disagree with that.
But you disagreed last month and nothing much changed. You disagreed the month before that and nothing much
Well,
changed.
we did have a lot of cold weather then,
You're gonna have more cold weather and you're having a
Right.
heart procedure and,
right?
I mean, at some point, you just gotta pay somebody to do it.
Actually, when you look on the weather, we've had a very mild winter, and so you've been very fortunate. And the snow that did come down melted very fast. So, and now we have this snow, of course, and now you're saying it's hard to do that because of the snow. And I do understand with your health issues, but every month that you come in, you tell us you have health issues, and we understand that, but you know, this has got to be done. I'm so sorry, but this has got to be done.
I mean, at this point, it seems like you're either gonna pay a fine or you're gonna pay somebody to come and help you. I just, you know, I feel for you, but you know, your health is an issue. I think it's gonna be one or the other.
I mean, the only thing I'd be amenable to is giving like a 7-day reprieve to secure a contract to clean your yard up. If there is no contract provided in 7 days, you are fined retroactive to the first day of the fine. First day of the which should be tomorrow.
Sure.
I mean,
I could agree with that, Joe.
it gives you 7 days to secure a contract to show that this is gonna happen, and a written contract. From someone. And approved by the administrator. I don't know if everybody would be okay with that.
I agree with that.
I could do that.
I know it's money, but you're gonna get fined,
Right.
and it's not gonna be $10 a day.
Aren't there people that come up and just take junk?
Yeah,
Yeah, there are.
I mean, do you use Facebook Marketplace, anything like that? Do you have anybody that could help you with that?
1-800 got junk.
Yeah. I mean,
Just curious, what are you gonna do with your patio door over there? You've got that plastic that's been hanging there forever. What's your intention on that?
Well, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be repairing the frame from the patio door and putting it back in.
but you only did this one day.
What do you mean one
You
day?
said you just did this yesterday. Have you been cleaning, or today it was? I mean, have you been cleaning the whole month? It
No.
doesn't look much different in these pictures from,
No, because I've been working inside to make room for everything.
Remember I brought up last month, you should not be working inside. You need to work outside.
what's the board's feeling? Paula?
I'm in favor with Linda and Mark. I think or I'd like your suggestion too, to get somebody to get in there and help you, or the fine will be retroactive. I'm in favor of that.
Mark?
My only concern is, contract would be subjective. I mean, he could have a handshake contract with somebody.
That's written.
Yeah, I mean,
Has to be written.
I just say we set a date for reinspection, and if it's not compliant, then the building inspector follows the procedure and we start issuing after that day.
Okay.
I guess I don't want to get bound up by tying in a contract, and I think that
How far out do you want to go?
could cause litigious issues. I mean, we could say, I don't know what Brian's schedule looks like, but
When did you say your procedure was? You had 5 days before you were gonna start your medical procedures?
17th and 18th,
Of what month?
February 2025.
That's Monday.
Mm-hmm.
now, one thing we've ran into in the past is it's on us to find daily that he's not in compliance, so. This is it's a large undertaking for the inspector to have to go there every day. To finding every day to get a ticket, so.
Do we get reimbursed from the homeowner for Brian's fees to come out to relook at it?
No.
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 That's
So
the fine.
please be aware of that, that we have to pay for him to come out to do this.
What date are you thinking then, Mark?
Well, how about a 5-day extension?
I think the problem with the extension is that it doesn't have a start date to start issuing compliance.
Couldn't we put that in the vote?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could even say like March 3rd. The inspector shall go out there to re-inspect. If not compliant, then he turns it over to the process, which would then be citation issuance.
March 3rd is 2.5 weeks away. Are you comfortable with that, Mark? That's kind of pushing it out a lot.
What is February?
I
I mean, I just don't
29
know,
days.
I don't know if Brian's. I don't know if his schedule, I think that would be reasonable. He could be on vacation this week or next. Without being able to check with his schedule, I think. By setting a date in the future, like 2 weeks out is,
It's been like 5 months. It's 2 more weeks.
yeah.
That'll give an opportunity for you to secure somebody to do it. However you do it is up to you, but if it is not done by that date, you will be fined. There will be no more reprieve. There will be no more asking for extensions. It will
From
just
that
be
day
fine.
forward,
Yes.
not
From
retro.
that day forward or tomorrow forward?
From the 3rd forward.
March 3rd forward.
I think Brian is gone on March 3rd.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a response.
Oh,
I guess ask him what his availability is that week.
Is he the only one that can do it?
I mean, he can,
Inspector.
Well, I can drive there and take pictures.
He's gone the 1st through the 14th.
okay,
It looks like you're taking pictures, Dan.
so let's just, I mean, I think 2 weeks is reasonable to secure. Somebody. But that would put us to the 26th. Somebody's gotta get to contract and get the work done. So. That's what I'm gonna recommend what the board takes as far as action.
The bags of leaves, they have to go too.
What's that?
The bags of leaves I have on the property.
I
Stack.
believe that was one of the original ones in 5.02 that was highlighted. Accumulation of decayed animal or vegetable matter, trash, paper boxes, rubbish, rotting lumber, bedding, packing material, or scrap material.
So that would have to be removed.
I don't.
Or can I wait till recycling opens up?
I don't think natural leaves is a problem.
If they're bagged in plastic bags?
Well, I think then
Plastic
that would
bags
be
should fine.
decaying animal or vegetable matter at that point. If you're confining them.
Just How long have they been bagged?
A month. I was gonna take my shredder and shred them up.
And why didn't you do that?
But somebody can pick them up. There's companies you can call that have to pick up.
Or can I just unbag them and pile them?
It's gotta meet the ordinance.
Yeah, I don't. However you come in compliance is up to you. I can't tell you how to maintain your property, but if it's. If it's accumulation of decayed animal or vegetable matter. I'll leave that.
I think in his letter, he put vegetable matter being as like kitchen scraps, vegetables.
And there's a whole list of, I mean, you have a copy of the ordinance?
Yeah,
I mean, you just gotta go by what the ordinance says. If you have any of those things in this kind of manner. And the building inspector finds that it's not in compliance, you're not in compliance. But I would recommend if there's things in here that you're not, that you haven't been fined for, don't concentrate on those. I mean,
I mean, we can't sit here to be a finder of fact. We're here for the extension. The finder of fact, if not in compliance, would be the court. So. I'll leave it any interpretation of your situation will remain with the inspector's testimony or. Whoever's collecting evidence of non-compliance against the property, but we're not a court up here. We're helping you avoid being subject to non-compliance by fines. So I guess I would make a motion to instruct the building inspector to visit the property no later than February 28th. Should non-compliance be found, daily observances of non-compliance should be recorded and submitted through the court.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motions are made and seconded. Any discussion?
through which court is that?
I think we got
Lake Country
Lake
Municipal Court.
discussion.
I'm sorry.
Which section? Are we voting right now?
Yeah, we're in discussions.
Okay. I'll just answer your question directly. The sheriff's office would issue the ticket for the inspector, which would then go through Lake Country Municipal Court.
I didn't catch the last part.
The inspector would request the citation issued through the sheriff's office, which would then go to Lake Country Municipal Court. That's the court that the village uses.
You would receive a citation, everything would be included in there explaining it. In there. Okay,
So if Brian goes out actually on the 28th, I'm sure it will be before then, because if he's going on vacation. So when would a fine, if that is what would happen, when would a fine begin? The day Brian looks at it or the 28th?
Well, he has to be able to provide testimony that it's not in compliance for every day the fine is issued. So
Right.
he would have to visit the property every day thereafter to prove that there's non-compliance.
Someone has to.
Yeah, someone, an agent of the town or village.
And could he list what is not in compliant at that time too?
For each citation that's issued, it would have to be non-compliant. So you would receive, you're not just gonna receive a notice that you're non-compliant, it'll articulate what the non-compliant part is.
we would list off in here to your. Section 1502 B parent 3. You know, in parent 4, and say which ones you're non-compliant of. It would be specific.
Would that be part of a criminal record?
Oh, that's criminals.
No, these are forfeiture proceedings. I mean, there is ways. Moving forward that can escalate further than that, but
Mhm.
that's not. Something we have.
And if it goes to court, the one of the fines have to be paid? Or does that go just on a tax bill?
Depending on when the tickets are issued, they're all gonna have their own court date.
That doesn't go on the tax bill. Those are municipal forfeitures. If we would be forced to go to a point of cleaning up, that would go on your tax bill. We don't want to get to that point. We have never gotten to that point. I've been here 18 years and we have never even got this far,
Mhm.
so. Okay, motion's been made and second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Carries 5. Okay. Please get it done.
And when would I have to come back,
Or you
if at
don't-
all?
You don't have to come back at all.
Okay,
You're either gonna be compliant or you're gonna be fined. Those are the only options at this point. Okay? All right. Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Item 9, new business. A, discussion and necessary action regarding approval of a temporary Class B beer and wine license for Osblick Ski Patrol's annual carnival on February 23rd, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
So this is something that the Osblick Ski Patrol does generally every year. They submitted the required application. The 2 pages are attached. I have redacted them. All of the agents and the applicable officers had the background checks run. Everything's clean. So I ask for your approval.
Questions, comments, or is there a motion?
We've had no complaints in years past.
I'll make a motion to approve the temporary Class B license for Osblick Ski Patrol's annual carnival on February 23rd, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
And then Becky. Sorry, Linda, she beat you out.
That's okay.
Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item B, discussion necessary action regarding timeline for assessor market update.
So when Accurate Appraisals came forward and presented you with their pitch for the contract that was approved, they had a market adjustment or a market update that was scheduled for 2026. In the contract, they wrote that market adjustment for 2025. They don't typically do market adjustments the first year that they're with the municipality, so they're asking us if we are okay with moving the market adjustment to 2026 as was originally presented as opposed to 2025. For them to get to know our community and understand our population, our homes, and it would give us a little bit more time as staff to send out something in tax bill letters, come up with a marketing strategy for a market adjustment in newsletters, things like that. So that was their request, and I'm bringing it forward to you. The big thing it impacts is that we have to have 5 days of open book or of open book where people can come in and talk to the assessor. If we are doing a market update, if we're not doing a market update, they only need 1 day for 2 hours to come in. It would also push the Board of Review date back to late August as opposed to a normal Board of Review date. And so that's their request, and I'm bringing it forward.
Discussion?
Did they propose an amended contract?
That was part of what I had tonight, is if that was the way forward, do we want to ask them to amend the contract and have it readopted and signed? Or do you want staff to just approve the adjustment?
I mean. Is there any scope of service we're gonna be missing out of by doing this?
No,
'Cause-
and the whole contract is based off of a breakdown of costs that ties in that market adjustment anyways. It would just be basically shifting the year from 1 year to the other. We might be actually missing out on some services because a lot of times they start that market adjustment the year prior. So they probably started at the end of this year for 2026. I just don't know if the board was bent on making sure that we had one in 2025, or if we promised it to our residents that we were gonna do it in 2025 or not. So
What's our assessment ratio at?
70. I've seen worse. We were at 67 though.
Well, we'll be there next year.
Yeah, we don't have that letter from the Department of Administration saying that we're out of compliance
It
yet.
starts at 5-year time, yeah, anyway, but. Okay. How do you feel, Becky?
I'm fine with waiting to 2026.
Becky's like me, that we won't be here.
That's why I'm looking at Mark.
I will have a board of review.
I guess I'd like to see a contract before, an amended contract for us to sign before I agree to anything.
I think that makes sense.
I
Well,
would agree the same thing, Mark. A minute contract.
We'll see the contract first, or,
Yeah, I think so, yes.
so we'd be asking them to propose an amended contract to bring back.
Yep,
Yes.
we'll get that on the next board
So it's
meeting.
good to have
Have
something.
the attorney vet it before we get it. The only thing that should be getting changed is the date,
Correct.
so it should be.
Has the attorney seen it already? The one in possession right now?
I hope so.
We'd have to ask Kathy actually, but I would imagine it would have gone to the attorney,
Okay.
but it'll get reviewed this time.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay. Thank
Alright.
you.
really is no action then on that one.
Correct.
Right, this is item 10, which is closed session. Pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1 parent G for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved, more specifically regarding the Davis lawsuit. And pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1 parent C for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data in any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, more specifically regarding the treasury evaluation, supervisory hierarchy for department heads, and a merit-based performance evaluation. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I second.
We'll give that one to Linda.
Sure.
Sorry, Paul.
That's okay.
We gotta
All
give
you,
one to
Linda.
Linda. All right, motion been seconded. Roll call vote, please.
President Osterman.
Aye.
Trustee Plotecker,
Aye.
trustee Moonen,
Aye.
trustee Quinn,
Aye.
trustee Beal,
Aye.
All right, so we'll then go into closed session at 7:24. We'll give you a call on your cell phone, Linda. Is it
Okay,
your cell
thank
phone or
you.
cell number you want to be called on?
Okay, the cell phone's fine.
Okay, we'll give you a call in a few moments here.
Do I hang up on this phone now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Linda.